go ahead and see what we got here. I'm actually cut it off the thin end, the smaller end here. And just kind of get a little bit of the cheese, get a little bit of the outside of it. I ain't worried about the spaghetti right now. So let's see what we got here. That was very good. So today for lunch, I think I'm gonna make some chicken parmesan, and this will be done in the air fryer. I kind of pre-mixed some of the ingredients, but I'll run through what I'll be using for it. We got this is the full recipe, and I'm only gonna use half the recipe. We got 2 large eggs. If you was doing the full recipe, a half a cup of seasoned breadcrumbs, a 1/3 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 4 boneless, skinless chicken breast halves, 6 ounces each, 1 cup of pasta sauce, 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese, and optional would be fresh basil and hot cooked pasta. So I did cook some pasta ahead of time. I just got that sitting on the stove. I halved everything, so this is 1 egg beaten, and we got the breadcrumbs, the grated Parmesan cheese, and the black pepper, and I also added some Italian seasoning to it. And like I said, I used 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper, and I used 1/8 of a teaspoon of the Italian seasoning. If you was making a full recipe, you know, use, like I said, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and a 1/4 teaspoon of the Italian seasoning. And I'm gonna just lightly salt the chicken breast with a little bit of salt before I pass it through the egg and the breadcrumb mix. So we do that, and not a lot of salt, you know, just enough to give it a little salt, you know, because the recipe doesn't have any salt in it. So I mean, I know the breadcrumbs are seasoned, but I figured a little salt would probably help. And I'm not going to add any hot sauce or anything to it. I'm going to just leave it, you know, basic. So we got the egg. Now we'll do the breadcrumb mixture, and just kind of coat it, you know, where it's really good. So I'm gonna try to keep it as close to the recipe as I can, but I did want to add a little bit of Italian seasoning. I think that'll definitely give it a good flavor. And go ahead and lightly season your pan. And I just use some regular olive oil spray. And once you got your chicken breast nice and coated, go ahead and just basically put it on the foil. So get your air fryer preheated to 375, and we're going to cook this for 10 to 12 minutes or until the internal temperature reads 165. So let me go ahead and get that in the air fryer. And like I said, we're gonna turn this halfway through. And I'm gonna just go ahead and set my timer to 12. Now the recipe doesn't call for this, but instead of putting the cold pasta sauce directly on top of the chicken, I'm gonna go ahead and heat this on a low simmer on the stove, and when I'm ready for it, I'll put it on top of the chicken. All right, that was our first 6 minutes, and that's how we're looking so far. And gently we're gonna flip it, and we'll do 6 minutes on this side. Air fryers are kind of nice because you open the door, you close it, you don't have to do anything. It just automatically starts going again, which is pretty slick. Okay, this was the total cook time. I didn't check it with a meat thermometer in between. I just did the full 12 minutes. Now we'll check it with a meat thermometer. This is about the thickest part, I think. And like I said, we're shooting for 165. If it's not there, I'll just go a little longer. We will cook it about another 4 minutes with the sauce and the cheese on top. So that'll probably bring it up another 5 or so degrees as well. But I don't think we're quite going to be there yet. Which I'm surprised because my air fryer cooks pretty hot, I think. So it's not ready yet. We're going to go another Probably. I'm actually going to bump this up to 400 degrees, and I'm going to do 5 minutes. I think that'll make the breadcrumbs on top get a nice brown as well, because they weren't really brown to my liking. And then I'll put the cheese and the sauce on top. But like I said, we want to get to about 165 first. Actually, I'm going to probably shoot for like 160, because like I said, I'm going to do about another 4 minutes at 375 once I put the sauce and the mozzarella on top. All right, so I went ahead and did it another, that was 3 minutes total. And we're probably going to be pretty dang close. And like I said, if it's not quite the 165, if it's like 160 to like 162 or so, I'm gonna call that good, because I still gotta do another about 3 minutes for the cheese and everything to melt. So we're gonna be a little over 165, which is good. That's fine. Now we'll go ahead and add the sauce to it. And like I said, I'm not gonna use all the sauce, because I'm gonna add a little bit to my pasta as well. So we'll just kind of put a little healthy amount of sauce on top. Like I said, this was half the recipe, but I'm only doing a fourth, because I'm only using one chicken breast. So just get you a little bit of the cheese there, and just kind of, put it down the middle like that. Something like that. And we're going to go ahead and do another 3 minutes, and I'm going to drop my temperature back down to 375. And I'm going to actually put this on a little bit low of a rack. So we're going to do 3 minutes at 375. Okay, so I actually only went 2 minutes at 375. That's all it took. So here's our spaghetti. I gotta have a little spaghetti with it, I think. And here comes our chicken breast. Yeah, I'd say we came out pretty good. Look at that. So hopefully it doesn't break the crust or anything when I take it off, and it doesn't, so that's good. Kind of put that on top of there. Maybe we'll turn it, make it look more presentable. And I don't know about you, but that looks pretty good. Looks pretty successful at this point. And I'm going to take a little bit of my sauce and put on the spaghetti, but for now I'm going to just leave it like that. That's kind of a close-up view of it, so you can see the cheese and everything melted on top. And so like I said, this is only one chicken breast, so I didn't even use all the cheese and stuff that I had made for half the recipe. All right, go ahead and see what we got here. I'm actually cut it off the thin end, the smaller end here. And just kind of get a little bit of the cheese, get a little bit of the outside of it. I ain't worried about the spaghetti right now. So let's see what we got here. That was very good. Very crunchy. I think the last couple minutes in the air fryer, when I bumped it up, after the 12-minute initial, I forget what it was now, but the extra bump I did, the 400, got it real nice and crispy. So that's really good. Not sure if I add much more to it than that. So there you go. Like I said, you can add a little bit more. I think the salt's good on it. Maybe a little bit more Italian seasoning. But yeah, I wouldn't change too much with it. It came out pretty good. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the thumbs up button. I much appreciate it. Thanks.